Monday morning, February 3rd, the Super Bowl was amazing. The Kansas City Chiefs beat the 49ers 31-20. I don't even really keep up with hockey that much, but I did watch part of that game right before the halftime show. We had a call. I had to run and go do an emergency water extraction for a couple apartments. That was exciting and fun. But now, speaking of exciting and fun, I'm heading to the dentist to get a crown. And after that, we've got 5 jobs to do. You guys are going to get to see one of them, so it should be a really good day. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoy this video or any of the videos we've ever done, don't forget to mash that thumbs up button. Leave a comment below on how many cavities you've got. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Right after the dentist, I got a phone call from Angela saying that Lyndon and Thomas had a little bit of trouble getting the machine started. So I went by to make sure that their machine was able to get started right, and it was having a little trouble. We got the machine started, no problem, and then went ahead and shot a little video of them. So this is Thomas using the CRB. This is obviously the 15-inch counter-rotating brush, or CRB, and I was kind of showing him exactly how I wanted him to do the agitation portion. And Lyndon had just gotten done pre-spraying the preconditioner into the fibers of this room. Of course, I got there after they had already vacuumed the carpet, so I missed out on that step. But that really is the first action step of our cleaning process after we do our thorough inspection. So this was just a 2-bedroom move out for an apartment complex. And this apartment complex, I looked it up, we have invoiced them 391 times since 2014 when we started cleaning for them. So in 6 years, and most of those invoices are multiple units that we've cleaned. So most of the time it's an empty like this one, and most of the time they're in pretty decent shape, because if they're not, then they end up just replacing them. So again, once we had the preconditioner put down and then scrubbed in really well with the counter-rotating brush machine, we started with the hot water extraction. And here's Lyndon with his gloves on and his jacket. I don't know how he cleans in a jacket, because I was sweating just watching him work, but he did pretty much the entire apartment with that jacket on. Did a great job cleaning. Actually, this is the same apartment complex that I was at last night for an emergency water extraction. So while we were out here cleaning, they cleaned 2 units out here today. This is just one of the 2. We also had them drop an additional dehumidifier in one of the other apartments, because it was 2 apartments that were affected by the water extraction. It happened from a washing machine that flooded out, and so again we had to put an additional dehumidifier, which just really drops the humidity level of the air and makes the air more thirsty for moisture, and it basically increases the rate of evaporation over all the wet textiles. So this is Thomas out in the dining room. Why they put carpet in the dining room, I'll never know, but the dining room, the hallway, and the living room were definitely heavily soiled. The bedrooms weren't too bad, although they definitely needed a cleaning. And this is Lyndon in the 2nd bedroom. But pretty much after we did the preconditioner and the counter-rotating brush machine, the bedrooms looked really good. So this extraction, hot water extraction, or steam cleaning portion. Oh, and there I'm showing Lyndon the renovator trays from the CRB. So Thomas had just finished using this counter-rotating brush machine, and because we were on the 2nd floor, I showed him that it's easier to take off the renovator trays before you carry down the CRB. And I just could not believe how much more dry soil we were able to get out of that, out of those renovator trays. So had we not had those on, it would have been some really, really good CRB kickback. But because, and there's Lyndon getting a little spot that couldn't get with just the hot water extraction. But yeah, it basically filled those trays up, a lot more dry soil that it was able to dig out of there. So a really huge improvement to our cleaning process when we started to implement the counter-rotating brush machine on all the jobs. So this is Lyndon working his way down the hallway. Both of the bedrooms are complete. And then at the end of this hallway to the right is the dining room, and to the left is the living room, and then there's the door. There was a trouble spot that we hit in the living room, which is probably a good thing I stuck around, because I showed them basically a trick on how we can just re-clean those over and over again until we get the results that we were looking for. So the dining room cleaned up really well. Thomas did a great job of agitating the preconditioner into the fiber. He went both directions in here on my recommendation, and you can see from the steam bellowing out of the sides of that wand that this machine gets really hot. This is our newest machine. It's a 570 it's called, and again, just our hottest machine by far. You gotta be really careful when you're disconnecting the hose from either the inline sprayer or the wand, because everybody that's worked with this van so far has gotten burned at least one time. It's kind of like a prereq to working in this van, as terrible as that sounds. So you're about to see the trouble area right here, and Lyndon's about to go over it, and it was almost as if once we did the extraction, it kind of pulled some more soiling from the backing of the carpet up to the face yarn or up to the top. So it got worse as we cleaned it, which does occasionally happen. Usually it's a result of failing to remove as much of the dry soil as we probably could have or should have during the vacuuming step, which of course I made them aware of that, but then I was quick to go get the preconditioner and basically hit it again with more soap-free detergent in an effort to try to lighten that up. And once we sprayed it down, again, we used the CRB to massage that preconditioner into the face yarn, and as you can see, it looks like it actually got even worse, pulling more of that soil to the surface. So we extract it again, but then we just basically had to repeat those steps a couple of times in order to get the results that we wanted. So like I said, we've invoiced this property almost 400 times, and several of those times have been for the type of work that we did last night, which is an emergency water extraction and restoration. So we use drying equipment like dehumidifiers, air movers, and air scrubbers to clean and dry the air and remove all the moisture from the affected materials, ensuring that there's no microbial growth moving forward. We've been doing that type of work for almost as long as I've owned the company. I went and took a class to learn a little bit more about how to do that probably 5 or 6 years ago, and we got a lot more proficient. We bought a lot more equipment and better moisture meters and different tools to help detect the levels of moisture in and around all the different areas that get wet. Learned how to, classify different water losses, and basically work for insurance companies as well. So we do a few decent sized insurance jobs every year, it seems like, as well. And so you can see there that we have had the results got a little bit better as we repeated that step, but that one area, that one trouble spot, we're just going to have to let the property manager know that that was just a rougher area that we weren't able to get 100%. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to let that dry completely and then come back another day and just try to go over that really slowly with commercial vacuuming, and then repeat the 3 steps that you just saw us do there. One last time I wanted to go ahead and hit it with the pre-spray. This time I didn't use the CRB because after I did the first few, I realized that I thought the CRB was probably aiding in the pulling up from underneath of whatever was causing that spot to continue to reappear. So this one we just sprayed it on topically, let it have a little bit of dwell time, and then extracted it out. And again, had pretty good results. Not perfect, but there were several areas of this carpet that weren't perfect. Overall, a huge improvement though. The initial plan for today was for me to actually shoot video with Sonny and Cole at a local doctor's office that's about to open up. They had a little bit of tile and some upholstery to clean, and I did end up going over and we shot a little bit of video that you'll see here at the end of the tile bathroom, which turned out amazing. But overall, it was probably better that we shot the video at this apartment cleaning, just because the doctor's office was pretty crowded and we wouldn't have had as good a lighting or as good of a stage to shoot the video as we did in this apartment. So this is Thomas basically using the wand for not the first time, but almost the first time. He just did a little tiny bit of wand time on Saturday, but overall really good form. He's kind of a natural. He told him the most common mistake that anyone makes, including myself, is hunching over the wand when we first get it in our hands. So I kept kind of trying to remind him to stand up nice and straight and tall and walk the wand up and back as he did the wand strokes. The second most common mistake, I think, is either going too quickly or having the wand strokes be too long, which he didn't have a tendency to do that on either one. So it was kind of neat to get the wand in his hands toward the very last little section of this apartment cleaning, and also neat that he was able to be at this job because, again, we ran into some of the trouble areas there, so he was able to see a couple tricks up our sleeves that we use to help get those areas to come clean when it doesn't look like anything will. Overall, we were at this job for almost 2 hours, which is a little bit longer than I'd like to have been at a job this size, although we did run into a little bit of van trouble and also had basically a new guy with us training up. So overall, not too bad of a time frame here. We only billed this one for $150, which again, a little bit cheaper than we probably could have or should have, but being that we do so much volume work for this company, our prices are a little bit lower and kind of make up for it in the volume that we do. We generally like to average between $160 and $200 per hour, and even with two-person teams, that usually works out to be a very good profit margin for us. Of course, it is an average because there's jobs like this where we fall a little bit below, and then jobs like the one that we did right after this that end up being a little bit higher. So again, right after this, I was able to go meet up with Sonny and Cole, and this is just one of the many things that we did for this job. A little bathroom. We also did some upholstery cleaning, but the tile and grout in this little tiny bathroom turned out really, really well. She wasn't sure it had ever been cleaned, and after we put down our detergent on the tile here and allowed for a nice dwell time, we could tell that it probably had never been cleaned as well, at least not professionally. And you can see to the right there that we did run neoprene, even though the flooring that they put in this unit was the LVP or LVT, that luxury vinyl plank or tile, and basically scratch proof, waterproof, really, really good, resilient flooring. It's going in a lot of new projects that we're seeing lately, homes and businesses, both commercial and residential. Normally we would use a hand tool to get next to the toilet there, but we forgot it, so you can see I'm just sucking it up with the vacuum there. So this dump tank was from the job with the tile and grout, and obviously Sonny and Cole had an additional jobs as well, but you can see a lot of dirty water there. And then this one here was from the other van from Lyndon and Thomas. So overall, a great day. Thank you for watching.